Hello students, today I am going to discuss Act 1 Scene 2 of William Shakespeare's The Merchant of Venice. In Act 1 Scene 1, we were introduced to Antonio and Bassanio. Antonio was the rich, kind-hearted merchant of Venice, and he was talking to his two friends Salarino and Salanio. In Act 1 Scene 1, we also learned the bond of love between the two friends Antonio and Bassanio. Antonio, the protagonist of the play, around whom the title The Merchant of Venice runs around. Act 1 Scene 1, we are taken to the romantic world of Belmont, where Portia, the beautiful, bold, imaginative and thoughtful female protagonist of the play is introduced. Students, remembering the setting of the scenes is very important because the setting of this scene, Act 1 Scene 2, is in a room in Portia's house in Belmont, and we will find that Portia talking to her lady-in-waiting Nerissa. Lady-in-waiting means companion to queen, personal assistant or maid. Now, this particular scene is set in a room in Portia's house in Belmont. Already I told you. Now, students, here you will find that the opening of this scene, Act 1 Scene 2, is similar to the opening of the previous scene, that is Act 1 Scene 1, as both Antonio and Portia are presented before us as sad and pessimistic. But please note down, students, that Antonio's sadness is still a mystery to us. However, Portia has good reason for her sadness or worries, which is caused by a strange condition in her father's will. What was the strange condition that made Portia too sad? See, the will of her father prevents Portia from choosing her own husband. Her late father had devised a test for her suitors who must choose one from out of the three caskets of gold, silver and lead. So one of them, the right casket, contains a portrait of Portia. The suitor who fails to make the right choice will never marry another lady according to the oath. He has to be the oath which the suitor has to take before the choice. So this was the reason for Portia's sadness. Understood, students? So I have introduced to you, I have given a little introduction of this scene. Students, I hope you are sitting with your pencil, pen or the scribbling pads for noting down the explanations and hard words, meanings, whatever I give you. Now, let's begin. Portia. By my troth, Nerissa, my little body is aweary of this great world. Now, underline troth means honestly, truly. So, Portia is saying that honestly, Nerissa, my body, little body is tired of this great world. Students, I will explain you what Nerissa replied to Portia's comment. Before I start explaining this context, please underline some of the words. Underline surfeit means have excess of something or overfed. Okay. Then you have the word superfluity means having too much. TOO, having too much. Underline competency, having sufficient means for a comfortable life. Then next you have mean, MEAN, mean little or slight. Now, I will explain this context. Here, Nerissa told Portia that she would be tired if her miseries, you can see, if her miseries were as great as her fortunes. Here, abundance means great, sufficient, much, anything you can write here. According to Nerissa, those people who had excess of anything suffered as much as those who had nothing. Hence, a middle position was the happy position. When you will read this, you will find whatever I am dealing with, whatever I am explaining, you will get here. So, Nerissa is trying to say that any man who has too much of anything who is actually overfed with something ages faster or grows older much faster, and he gets white hair. You can see here white hair, and as a result also dies very soon. But in contrast to those who have just what they are required and no more, they actually not more than what is needed, they actually lead a healthy life and live longer. Understood? So Nerissa was suggesting Portia that to choose a middle position. Middle position was the happy position, and those who had too much of the good things of the world were likely to become prematurely old, because they indulge in them in excess. They think of the things of too much. But those who had moderate wealth and just enough were likely to live longer and have a happier life. Students, I hope this context is clear to you. Now, Portia made a sarcastic remark here that good sentences and well pronounced. So, Portia is making an ironical comment here that sentences are very good to pronounce well, but what Nerissa told are very good sentences and pronounced or delivered in a well or perfect manner. Nerissa replied, they would be better if well followed. Means it would be better if those words were followed properly. Now, in this context, we will get Portia's main grievances or the reasons of her sadness that she mentions to Nerissa in this scene. Portia says, it is much easier to say wise things. See the line? If to do were as easy as to know what were good to do, chapels had been churches and poor men's cottages, princes' palaces. Portia is saying that if doing the good things were as easy as saying or knowing them, then places of worship like chapels are the small prayer rooms, would be like churches. Here, Portia is trying to make a distinction between theory and what is practiced. Portia is putting her arguments, that is to know is anything as a theory is another thing, and to put the theory in practice is another thing. So she says that if doing good things were as easy as saying or knowing them, then the places of worship like chapels, small places of worship, would be like churches, and the places, the happiness of the poor would have transformed their cottages into palaces. Then it is a good divine that follow his own instruction. Underline divine means priest. So Portia says a really good priest is one who himself practices what he preaches, what he instruct others. So she can then Portia is saying, I can easier teach 20 what were good to be done. So she can easily teach others what ought to be done, but she cannot be one of them and follow her own teachings. Now, here you can write down the drawback of the scene. Sorry, not drawback, the backdrop of the scene. So the backdrop of the scene is the will of Portia's father imposed or laying down the conditions as how to Portia is to get married. Students, read the explanations, read the context properly up to here, that be one of the 20 to follow mine own teaching, and I shall continue the next part 2 of this Act 1 Scene 2 in my next video.